Hi, it's Ileana Kapulnik here, and I thought I would do a bit of a follow-up video to the Blue Avians history that I had done a month and a half ago. So I just wanted to describe what happened to me. Um, so a month and a half ago, I was beamed up to a blue sphere, a very large blue sphere. And the beam that beamed me up was this green light. It was bright green light. And at that time when I was beamed up to the blue sphere, I was very distracted because my website was taken down. It was a hack attack. It was a false attack on my website, my spiritual website. So I was taking care of that. That's when the beam up happened to the blue sphere, and that's where the claim is that I met the Blue Avian and also the Golden Radiant, aka Triangle Head. He said to me that his name was Tanar. For short, Tajanar, something long-winded name, hard to pronounce it, so he just said call me Tanar. So basically, when Tanar is the one that beamed me up to the blue sphere, and basically I was having a hard time maintaining my rainbow body bridge, as that's what they called it. So I was physically phasing out from the sphere itself. I couldn't maintain my physical image while on the sphere. So the Blue Avian and Tanar helped me to ground myself, to realign my auric field and my soul energies in my physical body in order to be able to maintain the rainbow body bridge that was necessary in order to interact with the Blue Avian and Tanar. So the Blue Avian to me looked like he had these soft feathers, blue skin, very soft looking feathers and skin. It was blue, and Tanar looked like a golden radiant. He had this beautiful yellow glow about him. So he was glowing, and he was about 11 feet tall, or slightly taller. The Blue Avian was a little shorter than that by 2 or 4 inches, something like that. Maybe 8 to 10 feet tall, something like that. So I believe it was Tanar's energy that beamed me up, because he had this beautiful glowing yellow energy around him. And he mentioned to me that he comes from a place from a green solar system, a greenish glowing solar system, and that he was able to teleport me with this green light beam onto the large blue sphere in space that was somewhere near Earth in our solar system. So that's the explanation that was given to me. So in the conversation with the Blue Avian, he told me that their history is quite interesting, and that the history is found surprisingly in a physical book that was written on Earth by Ayasha Dean, Voyagers Volume 2. And the title is Voyagers, the Secrets of the Amante, Volume 2 of the Emerald Covenant, CDT, Plate Translations, by Ayasha Dean, 2nd edition. So that's the title of the book. And I went, really? Wow, supposedly your history is found in an Earth book? And the Blue Avian said, yes, it is in the book. The description of the origins of the Blue Avians is in the book, and you should have a look at it and read it. Now, I'm skeptical most of the time when an ET tells me to read a book to find out about their ET origins and histories. So I was really skeptical, and I mean, these ETs could be anyone. They can introduce themselves as the Blue Avians, the Golden Radiant. I was very skeptical whether this was a blue avian and the golden radiant that I was seeing while on the blue sphere. And I wasn't transported with a blue orb or anything. I wasn't in an orb. I was just beamed out with this greenish looking light beam up to the sphere. So that's different from what's usually described in how a blue avian is met. So that's quite a difference for me. So basically, I'm going to share with you some of the interesting facts about the so-called claims to the Blue Avian's origins and history. I'm going to read from the Voyagers Volume 2 from pages 262, 264, 265, and 266 about the so-called claimed history that the Blue Avians pointed me towards. Yeah, so I'm going to do that right now for you. So basically, this is called the genetic ascendancy of angelic human lineage. Brief description. Azurites, 48-strand DNA template, angelic hominid, blue-skinned feline avian cetacean hominid, densities from 1 to 4, dimensions 1 to 12, and the description is pre-matter, etheric, semi-etheric, and physical matter forms. And this happened 250 billion years ago, all universal Stargate locations to where Azurites were created, aka possibly Blue Avians. So that's the basic description for them on page 262 of Voyagers II book. And I have photocopies of the pages that I did so I could do the reading for this. So that's what I'm transferring in my hand here. So, and the descriptions from the book itself goes as this. The Azurites, IAFW, Orapheme/angelic human, MC, priests of Or, UR, and indigo child Ileana, Grail line. That's the title. In the descriptions provided about the Azurites. So here it goes. Throughout the long history of the founder race, in brackets, angelic wars, 250 billion to 270 million years ago, the Emerald Order, Elohe/Elohim, Anuhazi, feline hominids, Gold Order, Seraphim, Saras, avian hominid, and Athean mantis, and Amethyst Order, Braharama, Inu, cetacean, and Pegasi winged horse deer races worked to restore universal stargates 11 and 12. Following the destruction of the Lyra, Aramontena, and Stargate 12, the Emerald Order, Brunei, and their Elohim feline hominid races were appointed by the Janus collectives from beyond the time matrix to serve as the primary universal Templar security team. In our time matrix, the Elohe Emerald Order feline hominids were commissioned to organize and assist guardian nations in securing the universal Templar complex from fallen angelic race dominion, and to implement genetic bioregenesis programs in order to assist the fallen races in re-evolving their original potentials of ascension. Very interesting info. Upon request of the Janus collectives, the Density 5 Brunei orders and their Emerald Order Amohazi feline hominids, Gold Order Ceres Avian / Hominids, and Athenian Mantises, and Amethyst Order Inu, Cetaceans, and Pegasi-winged horse deer races, created the Universal Service Organization called the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, for shorthand IAFW. In order to provide greater protection and healing efforts in our time matrix, the Emerald Order Elohi Elohim and Ohazi feline hominids, Gold Order Seraphi Seraphim Ceres avian hominids, and Amethyst Order Braha-Rama Inu cetaceans (forefathers of the whale and aquatic dolphin) co-created a new guardian healer race called the Azurites, possibly aka the Blue Avians. The Azurites are a blue-skinned land/water mammal feline avian hominid, some bearing feathered heads and wings, which were created 250 billion years ago with the formation of the IAFW. I have a strong feeling that this information also goes back to the Rock Confederacy information, and it's similar to the being called Ra, to what was channeled in that information. That the information from Voyagers II really relates to the Rock Confederacy channelings. Sounds very similar. So the Azurite race, carrying the full spectrum of the three founders' races' original core genetic templates, or Ascension codes, represented a new Yani, meaning, in brackets, Janus embodied. That's what the meaning says. Race form through which the density 5 Brunei and Janus ascended masters, collectives from beyond the time matrix, could incarnate directly into the density systems. The Azurite Yani race line was simultaneously seeded into every density level in our 15-dimensional time matrix, placed in galactic and planetary proximity to the 12 universal stargates of our Universal Templar complex. Again, very interesting information. The Azurite Yani race was placed under the guidance of the Emerald Order Brunei Elohi Elohim Feline Hominid Universal Security Team. The Azurites were appointed by the Janus and Density 5 Brunei orders as the Azurite Universal Templar Security Team, as well as being called the Azurite Council, and with assisting all races in their evolution to ascension and freedom from the time matrix. From what the Blue Avian claimed to tell me, they're here to help with human ascension from third dimension all the way to fourth, fifth, and higher to the 12th dimension. So that's what they're here to help us with right now in our time history, in this time matrix. And this sounds very familiar as well, because it says here that the Azurite Universal Templar Security Team was to assist races in their evolution to ascension and freedom from the time matrix. So that to me flows very interesting in unity with information comparisons. About 570 million years ago, the angelic wars between the fallen Anu, Elohim, Anu, aquatic apes, and bipedal dolphin people and fallen seraphim insect, Omicron/dragon moth, dino, and Odicron lizard races had escalated to the point of potentially imploding this time matrix. And to me, this translates as possibly Dracos, insectoids, Anunnaki, and other races fighting together That's what this feels like to me from this information, because it also says dino. And from what I can recollect, some of the Dracos have mixed their DNA with ancient dinosaur DNA, and they could be up to 100 feet tall from something I remember I encountered with one of my contact experiences. So this potentially blends into this information. So the Brunei orders of Density 5, with assistance from the Azurites and Emerald Covenant races in the Time Matrix, repaired the Stargates 11 and 12, able to implement direct access to our Time Matrix. Once again, the Density 5 Brunei orders intervened, offering the second restatement of the Emerald Covenant. And I think the Emerald Covenant was some kind of a peace treaty to stop the wars, through which members of any of the races could re-enter co-creative, co-evolution agreements. And I'll repeat that. Through which members of any of the races could re-enter co-creative, co-evolution agreements. And this was through the second restatement of the Emerald Covenant. The Emerald Covenant. Again, very interesting information, and I'm finding myself repeating it, so again, some kind of synchronicity for me. Many of the fallen seraphim, insect, dracon, moth, and lizard races, and some of the Anu Elohim dolphin people and Anu aquatic ape races entered this peace treaty. Interesting, they say this peace treaty. Fallen races entering the Emerald Covenant restatement 570 million years ago agreed to work together under the direction of the Elohim, Anohazi, feline hominid, seraphim, Sarah's avian hominid, and Athean mantis and Braharama, Inu citation, and Pegasi winged horse deer races. As per the Emerald Covenant restatement, 570 million years ago, the Azurites and Emerald Covenant Guardian races would assist fallen races to reverse mutate their faltering genetic templates. And I'll restate this again because it's very interesting. The Azurites and Emerald Covenant Guardian races would assist fallen races to reverse mutate their faltering genetic templates. In return for this guardian race assistance, regenerated fallen races would assist guardian races to restore the integrity of the universal and interplanetary Templar complexes and bring peace to our time matrix. Wow, this is very interesting information. So I'll reread it because it sounds very something important, so I'll restate it again. In return for this guardian race assistance, regenerated fallen races would assist guardian races to restore the integrity of the universal and interplanetary Templar complexes and bring peace to our time matrix. So the Azurites and the Emerald Covenant Guardian races were involved in this process. And sounds like the Azurites, aka Blue Avians, are back to help us in this time in history when we're trying to remove the Dracos and the Cabal and the Archons from our solar system. So this looks like a link of information. Races entering the Emerald Covenant restatement agreed to allow the Brunei orders to incarnate into our time matrix by entering another new life form that would, like the Azurites, carry the genetic imprint of all stellar founder races. Another possible confirmation of interesting material. This new life form, which would also harbor the consciousness of the Brunei, Breneau, orders and Yanis Ascended Masters collectives in manifest form would serve as the embodied, commissioned keepers of the Universal Templar complex, assisting all stellar races in fulfilling their potentials of ascension and freedom from the time matrix. Interesting. I'll repeat that again. Assisting all stellar races in fulfilling their potentials of ascension and freedom from the time matrix. The new guardian race, intended to evolve to relieve the Azurite Yani of their long tour and density, would bring the co-creation agreements of the original Emerald Covenant of Aramatena, 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 back into play. The new race was intended to become the next generation of the Universal Templar security team in our time matrix. Creation of the new race was intended to be a changing of the guard, through which the Azurite Yani could transfer their commission in time to the new race and ascend out of the time matrix, in order to return to at one mint with Source. This new race was created with the intention of embodying and restoring to the races of our time matrix peace, love, and harmonious cooperative evolution. And what do the Blue Avians stand for? They stand for peace, love, harmony, and cooperative evolution. That's what they're here supposedly to help us with. Like the Azurite Yani, this new biological race would present a genetically perfected form through which the consciousness of any stellar collective could incarnate to reclaim their original integrity of the Ascension codes. So, from what my memory serves, the Blue Avians are 6 to 9 density sphere alliance. So that's interesting. I think this has a link stating that they possibly might have Ascension codes. The new race was called the Turanusium, Turanusiam, or the angelic human of density 2 Terra. And I'm thinking Terra might stand for Gaia. The seed race for the angelic human was the densities 2 to 4 Oraphim, meaning children of the light. Supposedly, we're eventually to get light bodies, so there might be another connection to this. In reference to their Bernai order creators of the density 5 in brackets dimensions 13, 14, and 15, called Ki Ra Sha, spelled Keerash with a big L. With a big A, sorry. Ki Ra Sha, meaning primal light fields. Interesting. What I suspect that I saw was the Blue Avian had blue rays of light around him. So blue rays of light, because he was also glowing. This soft blue light around the body of the aura, around the Blue Avian. So this primal light fields thing could be connected to here. So that's just what I wanted to make a comparison of in terms of what I experienced when I supposedly met the Blue Avian and the Golden Radiant. And this could be possible Blue Avian history. It's just a statement and a claim I'm making, just trying to provide clarification from where the source of this Blue Avian history origins comes from, supposedly. It has a ring for me in terms of my psychic abilities. It rings as possible truth to me, and I resonate with it from what's coming out of the Voyagers II book by Anayasha Dean. And also, it feels very interconnected to me because I've met other ET species who have very different forms and mannerisms and behaviors, and they could look differently. And I've had ET contacts for the last 2 years. And apparently, I've been contacting a few different sources, and I was told that I was having contact experiences in the 1990s, leading up to the 2000s. And from my memories, I also remember being abducted by the Black Drazo reptilians and the Sharab Invictus reptilians that were yellow. And also there was this tall guy who had gray skin and dark reddish gray red beard and hair, and they infected me with 36,000 nanonites. And these abductions happened from the ages of 2 to 10, and also being in a parallel reality where I was part of a secret space program for 60 years. I'm only 31, so it's interesting. Parallels. I'm saying parallel reality. I don't think it quite happened in this reality, in this time frame. And I have memories of different ICC and Dark Fleet bases from Mars and some bases from the moon. I even remember what Lunar Operations Command vaguely looks like. I suspect I had recently probably made contact with an ICC overseer by the name of Serena and a Dark Fleet liaison by the name of Zagor, who is basically a reptilian / insectoid hybrid. And I was given tours of various ICC and Dark Fleet bases and even cities. So my experiences are vast and many and interesting. And I'm trying to be open and transparent about my experiences and just share what's happened to me. And the Blue Avian history, that's possible history of the Azurites, aka Blue Avians, that comes from the Voyagers II book, is very interesting, and it feels as possible truth to me. So I thought I'd share some of it as what I read in the book, and just try to make a comparison of this history, because there's not much that has been told about the Blue Avians, about where they come from, their origins, their history. So, this might be a small piece of the big, large puzzle. And if anyone has any other information about the Blue Avians and their histories, I'm very open-minded into hearing that information, to talking about it in a conversation or an interview. And if you have anything to share about the Golden Radiants, I'd like to know more about them, because Tanar didn't give me much info. He said he comes from some green constellation or galaxy, and that he's able to open up teleportation portals with his golden radiant energy, so he can open this green portal around himself and teleport himself to places. But he's about 11 feet tall, and he said that his head wasn't quite triangular. It was more circular-like. So that's something else he shared with me. That's supposedly what they look like, what they are, history. That's what was shared with me in my encounter with the beings that called themselves the Blue Avians and the Golden Radiants. So I just wanted to share some of that information and clarify where I got the Blue Avians history from what was suggested to me to do the reading by the Blue Avian. And I did, and I find the history fascinating. And it rings somewhat true to me. So, just wanted to make that correlation and make that comparison. So thank you and namaste.